The show is made possible in part by its supporting sponsors: Blue Water Power Group of Companies, Joe's Discount Tire, and AskGuy.ca. These interviews are getting more and more fun because, like, we're out here and we're like at the campground, I guess, in Moortown, and it's beautiful and peaceful. And I got my friend for how many years?
About 15 years, I would say. Yeah.
Gary Baker, thank you so much for having me out here.
My pleasure.
To your abode. It's you're kind of hidden in the back here. Do you like being out of the back here?
I love it. It's a bit of a drive back on this gravel road, but it's more private, and I have a larger site here, and I'm next to 700 acres of wheat, and it's really peaceful, and it's out of the city, and I enjoy it.
Yeah. Where are you from originally, Gary?
Born in Sarnia, lived in Point Edward, and lived in Corunna, and ended up down here now by full-time RVing now.
Yeah, you've come. We might need to do 5 interviews with Gary for all the things that he's done, but let's start. What was your trade, though, and what was your living?
Well, I started working on the railroad for 6 or 7 years, and I got the calling. I wanted to be a welder pipe fitter. I'm a welder, pipe fitter, gas fitter.
Yeah.
So I went to the local 663 for about a year, and then I got a job at Imperial Oil for 37 years.
Wow.
And I retired out of there, and have been happily ever since retired here, and enjoying life and traveling. 6 months down south in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas.
Yeah. And
Florida, bike week, and then stay in Florida before I come home. And then come up here to Moortown when they open, and stay here for about 5.5 months, and go to a friend's farm for about 2 weeks, and then it's time to head south again.
Right.
Yeah. So
you've so obviously we're going to talk about RVing. That's a story in itself, and then you're a big motorcycle enthusiast.
Yeah.
You just mentioned Bike Week in there. How many times have you been down to Bike Week?
This year was 50 times.
Wow.
Started riding down when we were 16, 17 on 250 Yamaha Big Bears and Suzuki Hustlers.
You rode a 250 down there?
Yeah. Well, it was an 85 mile an hour bike, so you could do the interstate, but just the inclement weather and the snow made it tough for the first 300 miles. But then I got wise to that and bought a Volkswagen van and drove that for years, and ended up going to Acapulco. Found it much warmer, and of course we come up out of Acapulco and go to Mardi Gras, New Orleans in February, and then Bike Week, and stay over there, and then come back home, go back to work. And all the old guys on the railroad wanted the summers off, so you could work double shifts all summer and make all the money you wanted.
Right.
Back down south again in the winter, and then I had a family, and I still went to Bike Week. Managed to get a week or two of Bike Week in every year. And they went with me in the early days. We've been to Key West, and I've been RVing for 40 years, 3 different motorhomes. And
wow, what's this one here? Look, what is this?
This is a Bluebird Wander Lodge bus. It's a stainless steel bus, much different than a motorhome and more durable. And it's built to carry tens of thousands of pounds of luggage and go. It's a 1,000,000-mile bus. Right. It has the Detroit 60 series. Diesel, 600 horsepower diesel. The generator in the front, the electrical generator, is a Kubota 15,000 kilowatt generator.
You could run my house.
You can run 2 houses on that, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's fully equipped with a double satellite tracker on the roof. Shower, water, washer, dryer, every amenity you could hope for. There's a woman's and a man's closet, and I'm busy cleaning out the woman's closet so I can make room for her to move her things in later in the summer, and I pick her up, and so she'll be So it's a good time, and don't see much cold weather anymore. Although this was a cold spring.
Yeah, it was. It was hard. Us guys and gals, I should say, with the motorcycles, we were really itching to get out. It's like Mother Nature was not on our side.
Yeah.
For that this year. And then how much? Was diesel, so what would be the size of the diesel tank in this thing?
The diesel tank in this is 300 gallons, so
wow.
Sometimes I fill it in, I don't fill it in Florida because their taxes are higher. I'll fill it in South Carolina and drive to Port Huron, or I'll fill it in Port Huron and maybe drive to Texas, or wherever the price is. When you leave Texas, I fill it, of course, the price is $1 a gallon less in Texas.
Wow.
advantageous. Before I go into Florida, I stop at Mobile, Alabama and refuel. And I watch things like that. Propane is less in Canada, so I have a tank that I only have to fill once a year. It's a 50-gallon, not 50-pound.
Right.
And the only thing on propane is the fridge. So the fridge can be propane or electric. The heat is a diesel aqua-hot boiler, and that'll run off the tank. And there's also many electrical outlets on it, that you can heat with. So
have you totaled the amount of miles you've traveled? Would you, if you had to guess?
Oh boy, several 100,000. Yeah, I would say 500,000 miles on the RV, and it would be more. Except I spent so much time working when I worked at ESSO,
right?
And they were good to us, and we that's what made me able to afford this lifestyle, was a good pension, and of course to buy the bus in the first place.
Yeah. Now, switch gears from the RV right now. Let's go into something karaoke. That's I think how you and I originally met, was through karaoke. You've sang all over Canada, the United States, and you've won multiple awards, and you've always been a really great entertainer with that. You don't just go up and sing a song. I think of the fireman suit that you used to wear for a song that you did. What is it about karaoke that you like?
Well, it's not just sitting there and it beats moping around the house, of course.
Right.
It gets you out on the weekend or during the week sometimes, and not just to sit there and drink, but I like to get up and sing, and I've been gifted with being able to sing a little bit. This winter I went in the Padre Island contest. I was chosen by our park to be one of the contestants, and that was the big one. There was 128 people in the contest. And
wow.
Come down to the end there, I got 4th place.
Out of 128, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was. The 3 winners were all from Padre Island, and they were good singers. But you always question every one you've ever been in. But
yeah, well, I can think of all the contests we used to do. The one at Hiawatha there, and there's always some disappointment, or somebody says, "Well, that." But at the end of the day, I mean, nobody was looking to be on Canadian Idol or anything.
Oh, I've won times when I scratched my head and said, "How did I ever win?"
Did I win?
I was on the other guy must be saying, "How did I ever lose?"
Right.
But it was fun, and I went to the Donna, Texas Fire Department, and I got a fireman's hat and suit this winter, and I did George Strait, the fireman, and that put me on to the next final, and but it was fun on Padre Island at the big convention center, and we had a great winter down there, and then we moved on over to Florida to Bike Week. So
I'm sure you've met thousands of people. I can't imagine the conversations you've had over the years. Is there any celebrities or well-knowns that
I was at Greektown Casino singing there, and every Wednesday night they have karaoke there, and whoever the group is, I don't think it was the Four Tops, they sang My Girl. And the 2 fellows sang My Girl, and I said, you really sound like the song. And they said, oh, we are the song.
Yeah.
And I was amazed that there was 2 of them there, but they said every week somebody from Motown comes into the karaoke in Greektown Casino and sings. So it's worth a trip there if you happen to be in Detroit. Yeah.
I never knew that. That's I'll have to check that out somewhere soon. Yeah. And I think of you talked about Acapulco. Let's expand a little more on that.
Well, Acapulco, Mexico, used to be pretty safe to go down to. It's not so much anymore. Cartel controls the border, but you used to have a Volkswagen van, put a motorcycle in the back, and all my goodies, and take some money, and we go down to Acapulco and camp on the beach, and then eventually end up getting a place with some other guys from Sarnia. We had quite a following in those days when the construction was booming and the money was flowing, and guys would fly out and come down there. And I stayed about 10 winters in Acapulco, and finally, like I said, I'd leave there and go to Florida and so on. But it was a good getaway before Christmas, November sometime, early December, and stay down there till the end of February and get you out of the weather. And But those days are come and gone, and now I've moved on to a bigger bus, and it has all the comforts, anything you could ask for.
Right.
Just maintaining a commercial driver's license to drive this is a challenge. When you get to 70 years old, you have to stay in good health.
Yeah.
And be able to maintain it. and be able to afford it if it breaks.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
Tires would be, I would think, something that would be regularly you'd have to maintain and replace.
I did. I got 2 new steers on the front here 2 weeks ago, and it was $2,600 for the 2 new steers.
Wow.
And to move the 2 old steers to the tag at the back. So, but they did an excellent job. But tires have gone up probably 20% since COVID.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
If diesel comes down like they say it's going to, it'll make life much more affordable.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
You've traveled a lot on your motorcycles here. Talk about this motorcycle, or you've got a sidecar on here. What is this we're looking at here?
Well, I've got a 2005 Harley Davidson Electra Glide, Screaming Eagle, and I've attached a 2006 Harley Davidson sidecar to it. I wanted a Harley sidecar because I just didn't want to mess up the Screaming Eagle. There's a limited production CVO, and a Harley sidecar also has suspension on it that moves up and down.
Okay.
And it's other sidecars are rigid and they're very bumpy, and it's just something. Anything that's Harley Davidson, doesn't matter if it's 25 years old. You can walk into a Harley dealer and get the parts for it. You can't do that with a lot of other motorcycles. They go out of production.
Why a sidecar?
My knees are getting bad, and I had a 600 Honda scooter, and I fell off it last year out here at the gate.
Okay.
It got a little slick and going around a speed bump coming into the park, spun around and threw me down, and I decided I was a lot safer on 3 wheels than I was on 2. I don't need a smashed kneecap or something.
Right.
And,
so why not? But why a sidecar? Why not? Change to a 3-wheeler?
Okay, I priced that out. That's just me, my preference, because I'm a vintage bike guy.
Yeah.
But a sidecar was $7,500, and to trike the bike was $23,000.
Right.
And then to buy a new Harley trike was $44,000.
So it was dollars and cents.
Yeah, and I loved the bike since I had it. I wasn't going to mess it up by triking it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. And what's the vehicle back here that we're looking at here?
Well, that's a 2005 Volkswagen Beetle ragtop, and of course, again, I bought that in Florida about 13 years ago, and that was. They were going to be $23,000 to buy one here in Ontario, and I bought that in Florida for $7,500. So, some of these things you just look at, scratch your head, and say, yeah, I'll take that, and I'll go through the hassle of importing
the paperwork and everything, yeah.
And it was worth it. But it's been a good car. Enjoy it. Wherever I am, put the top up, put the top down. And, of course, it's moderately cool. Never snowstorms or anything. You wouldn't want to be useless in that. But.
Yeah. You're having a lot of fun, Gary, doing life, and you've got a lot of joys going on here with traveling. And is there anywhere you haven't been yet that you want to ride to or drive the bus to?
Well, I've camped from coast to coast. I haven't camped on Vancouver Island. My sister lives out there. She wants me to come out next year, so I think Carol and I are going to go out there next year. We're going to do a trip and do the Black Hills, Yellowstone, and then go to Vancouver Island for a month or 2 out there. I've stayed the winter in, for a few weeks anyway, in Arizona, Quartzsite, Arizona, which is the big rally. They have over 1 million RVs every winter in Quartzsite.
Wow.
It's huge.
1 million RVs.
Yeah, in January.
Who'd want to organize that?
Well, it's just camp in the desert. You see, it's $40 for 2 weeks to camp, and there's a dump station there and water, and you can camp wherever you want. You just got to be 15 feet from the nearest RV. So our Bluebird Club, our Bluebird Owners Club, we have about 125 Bluebirds show up for that rally for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And there's other big rallies too in Georgia, at Pine Mountain, Georgia. And the experts for this bus happen to be in Columbus, Georgia. These are the guys that built the buses. Now, Bluebird just built school buses now. They don't build motorhomes anymore. In 2008, they had a shakeout of that. But it's hard to find people with expertise to look at it. And mostly, if you go in any other place, especially around here, they scratch their head and don't know where to start. So you have to kind of dig for it, the information. And a lot of it I do myself.
Yeah. What's before we started the camera rolling, you said there's some things about RVing that most people don't really know. What would you want people to know about RVing that maybe they don't realize?
Well, you don't have to stay here all winter. You can gather your stuff up and go south. And the Rio Grande Valley, of course, I keep promoting that because it's about half to 2/3 the cost of Florida. And Florida's a joy to go to, especially with, Disneyland and so on, everything in Orlando and Daytona Bike Week. But if you're just sitting there in November, December, January, those 3 months, the Rio Grande Valley is tropical. When I step out of my motorhome, there's an orange tree, there's a grapefruit tree. It's all palm trees. The park is a gated community, although it's right on the border, less than a couple of miles from the Rio Grande in Mexico. Of course, you can go shopping over in Mexico if you want to, and go to Brownsville and Padre Island, which is 35 miles away. It's good to stay away from the ocean because the fetch on the western side of the Gulf is very strong with a lot of salt spray, and it will ruin everything if you stay right on Padre Island. So 35 miles in, and of course at the park, it's nothing but constant entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a ballroom there, and they bring in entertainers from Branson, Missouri. They have tennis courts there. We have a bicycle club. We have a motorcycle club that rides together twice a week, about 20 riders at the most. And just on and on. We have a cactus club, which is for the people who live there. And, there's a woodworking shop. Yeah.
Woodworking, okay.
Yeah, just endless things to do. And it's priced, I think my lot was a lot less money than I pay here at the park, and fully equipped. The internet coming in is on a cable, fiber optic, and it's not
good internet.
Wi-Fi. Yeah. So you get good TV, good internet, and good value for the dollar. Yeah.
Nice. Let's back up in the years now, Gary, and I always like to ask all my guests about school. How were you in school? Did you like school, or could you not wait to get it done and be done with it?
Well, I was done. I finished grade 12. I went to grade 12 tech, and I specialized in welding, and took auto, of course, and other things. But I knew I didn't want to do business, and so I went to skits. I took welding, and then I went on the railroad for a few years. But I wanted to get into welding, so I went to Lambton College and took a course there and got my tickets, and then I worked out of the Pipe Fitters Hall. And, from there I got hired by ESSO, which is wonderful, and, all the benefits and everything with the pension. And
was it challenging? Was learning to be a welder challenging for you, or did it just come to you?
It's challenging because everything is, of course, nearly always 100% X-ray and then hydrostatic tested. And when you're a pipe welder, even more so, and we did an awful lot of pipe, and it's never ending in a refinery. I worked on pipelines too, which is downhand welding, different style, dirtier job, but refinery jobs, you do a lot of pipe fitting, a lot of different trades. You work with boilermakers. You can be a supervisor one day and on the tools the next, and they just, if you got sick, I got sick once, and I was off for 6 months, and they took care of me. I really enjoyed it, and they value you. They want you back to work, get back to work, and finish your career. And they even give me a really nice set of golf clubs when I left, and I just unpacked them.
I saw that on Facebook the other day. It's like, that's the first time you took them out.
I have. Shame on me. I live next to a golf course here, so I'm going to make use of them this year. Yeah. And
are you a golfer?
I golf sometimes with. We went to the driving range, my boy, but he's such a good golfer. It just it makes me feel bad when he hits the ball. It's gone, And but no, I haven't. I could count on one hand the number of times I've golfed 18 holes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been on tournaments for work and steak fry after and so on like that.
Were you always? As long as I've known you, you're very sociable. We've gone for lunch and we've had coffees and under the bridge, and you've always got a story to tell. You're a storyteller. Would you say that's accurate in who you are?
Yeah, well, life's an adventure, and every day's a gift, and I really treasure that. So it doesn't pay to just sit and mutate there. You got to move on.
Complain and whine.
Yeah, and I've got a wonderful family. my cousin Chris Hall, he's going around the world, and we follow him.
Yeah, yeah.
And the rest of my other family live out on the lake, and they're coming home for a little bit of a reunion this summer. So we're looking forward to getting together. And yeah,
He's home right now, actually. Chris is, and
he is.
I know he's got a lot going on, but and he's going to be coming out to one of the motorcycle events that I'm putting on at the Moose Lodge, and so we'll get a chance to talk with him some more. We've had him on here before. Talk about. There's another guy with a lot of stories. Is that something you ever thought of doing, like traveling afar?
I would, but I have arthritis, and boy, oh boy, you don't want to get halfway around the world and you're in a problem, and I thought about it. But you kind of spend all the bullets when you go around the world. You could run out of money. It's just banditos and everything else with it that goes with it. So Chris is a brave guy.
He is.
He may or may not have deep pockets. He can afford it. He's taking a chance, and he doesn't seem to care, and he's always got a home to come to. So very fortunate. Yeah.
What's and go back to the school thing a little bit. Were you the social guy back then too, or who were you back in, say, public school and then into high school?
Yeah. I was in some rock and roll bands starting in grade 9, I guess. In school, we had a band called Admiral Nelson and the Stowaways, and that's when there was a Grass Company with Kim Mitchell, and there was all old bands. We had Battle of the Bands at Northern and did that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, right.
But as the years went on and we started working in the summer, and time got slim, and we just didn't have the time to do it. And people move on with life, and those that do it, that's their life, and they're usually pretty good at it. So I know a lot of them.
Do you play some instruments?
I play guitar, but not very well.
Yeah, you got the 4 chords down that you need?
Yeah.
You could be the rhythm section then.
Rhythm was what I played, and just as they say, not real good, but it was too distracting from singing.
Yeah. What are you doing? Like, we're sitting here, I mean, geez, I might move in here with you, Gary. It's so nice out here, but what are you doing when you're here? Like, are you just sitting out and enjoying and reading a magazine or a book or something?
Well, the last month or two, I've been catching up on repairs and deeds to do, and I had some quite a few doctor appointments and things to do. I got that taken care of, and I'm going off to Iowa here to meet my lady friend in a few weeks, and so I'll be traveling and be back here again. But I don't know. I enjoy going into Sarnia. I go to the restaurant every day, the diner, and eat lunch, and I like going down to the bridge at night because most of the motorcycles gather up down there. And
always some lies and stuff going on under the bridge.
Oh yeah. Lady Luck has rallies. I always go to those. I attend those faithfully, and it's good to be home, but it's always good when the weather turns to be able to leave again.
Right. The scenery never really stays the same for you then.
No.
Do you get bored? Is that why? Is that why the RVing thing is good for you? Because
I think
keep moving around.
I think it's good for me because of my health. The weather. With like I say, with arthritis, I hate snow and shoveling and don't want to do it. And so no more houses and no more shoveling and no more gardening.
Right.
My garden's at the grocery store.
Yeah. Okay. You talked about family. You have one son, or?
Yeah, one son, Jason, and my daughter lives in England. Sarah, she's a Roman archaeologist, and she works for the
Roman archaeologist. Well, you don't hear that every day.
Yeah, she works for the government, and boy, she's married and just bought a home. So she's successful, and I'm proud of them both. Yeah.
Yeah. What does Jason do?
Jason's an IT guy. He's a systems analyst, and he has companies that he takes care of their systems for, as well as doing general computer repair and whatever comes into his shop over the counter.
And he's a motorcycle rider as well, right?
He did, yeah.
So he got that from you, obviously?
Yeah, he got a Harley there a few years back, and he doesn't want to change it. I thought that he might want a bigger bike, but he says no, he enjoys the bike he has already.
Yeah.
So, although it be a Sportster, and he doesn't want to get up to a dyno chassis or a bigger cubic inch. Maybe figures that's fun enough,
Yeah. You've seen probably some changes. I mean, I know you're on social media. I'm really proud of you for learning that.
It's not easy.
Sometimes I'm like, Gary, why are you typing everything in big letters?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But you've picked up on that, and let's talk a little. I don't know if I don't want to necessarily call it politics, but world issues. How are we doing out there in this world?
Well, in Canada has brought in a lot of new Canadians, which is fine, because if I was a new Canadian, I'd be looking for somewhere to go. That's for sure. The world being what it is, but they're bringing them in too fast, and it's hurting the country. They're bringing in, this environmental business way too fast. We still need oil here. It's a cold country. Mm-hmm. For the present government to pretend that we can just shut off the oil and go without it is wrong. You're going to say, I work for an oil company, but that's reality.
Yeah.
Now, on the American side of the thing, I don't comment too much because I don't have a vote over there and I don't have a nickel invested. But the biggest problem over there right now is the South U.S. border. With what happens, a lot of unspeakable things happen down on the border. The crime and the importation of drugs. 2 months last year, between January and the end of February, U.S. Border Patrol caught 764,000 people.
Wow.
Between San Diego and Brownsville, Texas.
Wow.
And they said they only catch 20%.
And where do they go?
Well, when they catch them, they take them to a clearing center, and they process them. And the ones that are admissible, they let go into the country, and they have to show up for a hearing in 2 years. Now, most of the Mexicans go back to Mexico after 2 years. They made their money go back. People from other countries don't go back, they disappear. The crime, some of them with some of the gangs and things that do get in, like I say, they only catch a small percentage of the people. Yeah. So the U.S. border, when Trump wasn't right about a lot of things, and people disliked him. Oh no, but he was right when they said build the wall, because build the wall works. Where the wall is, they don't come through. Where there is no wall, they go around the end of it. And sometimes we go to a bar it's called the Junkyard Bar, down on the border, sitting right directly on the wall.
Is that right?
And you watch the U.S. Border Patrol chase after people and take them down. And sometimes the bus...
Right in front of you?
Right in front of you.
Is that right?
The bus will go into the area on the other side of the wall, and people, they'll pick up maybe 60, 75 people in those buses,
wow, that
are hiding in the weeds. And of course they surrender because they get processed, and the way it's set up now, they've changed all the rules. They accept them. You have to give them a hug and everything. Before it was different. It was much different attitude towards immigrants. But if I was in Mexico, I'd be swimming that river every day of the year until I got across and got a better life. And I don't blame them at all. I can speak Spanish moderately well. I get by down there. Yeah, hablo español. So, it gets you by for your food and your purchases and things. And but it's fun. But that is the problem, is the politics and taxes and.
Nobody likes taxes, but
each party, it doesn't matter who's in there. When they're in there too long, it's time you have to change them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your flavor is, So,
what are we doing right in this country of ours, Canada?
Well, healthcare is right, and it's a gift. You cannot declare medical bankruptcy in this country. That's a gift.
Yeah.
Thankfully we still have a pretty good environment, and what we're doing wrong, especially in this area here in Atlantic County, is the roads. They're despicable. They've fallen down on that. I don't know what they're doing with the money. It should be put into it. People comment when they come here how bad the roads are, especially in the Sarnia, Lambton area.
On this River Road going back, I think I was telling you the other day, coming back especially, there's like big potholes and stuff. And
dangerous.
And boy, when you're on a motorcycle, we know where all the bumps are in all the roads in the city, don't we?
You get them memorized.
Let's change. Well, you talked about our countries and everything like that, but since the pandemic occurred, or let me rephrase that even more. Like, have we become more divided people here in our country, and did the pandemic have an effect on it?
I think it did. Of course, economically, it was terrible what it's done. Mm-hmm. And people's opinion, were you vaccinated, yes or no? Mm. But the people that didn't get vaccinated, I did. I was vaccinated 3 times.
Yeah.
I haven't been sick. I haven't grown a feather yet, you know. I mean, and of course, who knows down the road? But the people that believed that they didn't have to get vaccinated, if they got sick, they still had to go to the hospital with the rest of us, and they were unvaccinated, you know. And not always, but I think nobody knew. It wasn't fair to say you should get vaccinated, shouldn't get vaccinated. Nobody knew what to do.
Yeah.
It was just hands up in the air. Who knows? What do you do? And
there was a lot of guessing going on, I think.
Yeah, it was. But, you know, they tried their best. I believe they tried their best and did what they could. And, well, here we are. We're out of it, thankfully. And we hope we never have another one.
Yeah. Are we out of it? Like, when I say that, I mean, like, we're still recovering, right?
Yeah. I've had a cold for a couple of weeks. It's gone now, you know. But, gee whiz, I tested negative for COVID, so a couple of times.
Yeah.
Just cold, but I still see people going in stores wearing masks.
Yep.
You know,
yep. And I respect that. You know, if that's what you want to do, okay.
Don't drive in the car by themselves wearing a mask. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
But we've all seemed to, I mean, all of us have always had opinion. You got an opinion, I got an opinion, everybody's got an opinion. And it seemed like, it seemed like social media really blew up during the pandemic because now everybody's a journalist because they can type on a keyboard.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on how does social media affect? We're flying away.
Oh, that's okay.
How does social media affect you? Is it all positive that you see?
No, I have to look at who's saying what.
Yeah.
And sometimes some people are so slanted that you say, gee whiz, no, I don't go for that, you know. Mm-hmm. And you really have to weigh everything on its merit. Mm-hmm. And I if they're constantly one-sided or the other, you say, well, okay, not for me. That's what I think of that.
Yeah. You're having a lot of fun, buddy, and I think it's great that you're able to do that. I'm not going to lie. There's pieces of me where I'm like, I hope I can get into that place in life.
Well, you can. Because these are, you see the list price in these books here, this family motor coach,
right,
where they're you know, an astronomical price. But you can go on the internet, you can look around, and you can find people that just want to get out of it for a fraction of the price.
I would think if I was starting into RVing, I probably wouldn't start with brand new.
Oh no, never.
Yeah.
Never.
Because what if you don't like it?
Well, you probably, not too many people said they didn't like it unless they had a lot of breakdowns. But you probably would like it if you had something that was good and dependable.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, getting away for the winter and having a vehicle to be able to go and sightsee and stuff. But I haven't seen too many people that don't like it, didn't want to do it, regret it. After you've had your fill of it, of course, you want to get into a house. Incidentally, if I get a house, if I get out of this someday and I don't want to drive this anymore, I'm going to buy a house in South Texas. A house that costs maybe $400,000 here, moderate house. That's an awful price, but you can buy down there for 60 to 80 grand.
Wow.
In a gated community. And
I was expecting you to say like 200.
No, never, no. You don't have multiple permits to get okayed. It's inside a park, gated community. Your fees are between $400 and $600 a month, depending on the size of it. And,
that's U.S., but still.
That's U.S., yes, still. You have to figure everything that way. Yeah. But still, your fees here, I mean, your taxes and so on and so on. You can have water hooked up, and just because it's hooked up, it can be $100 where you use maybe $5 worth of water. And these kind of things don't happen in those places, and they just don't let it happen. So it's a good deal, and although we can only stay over there 182 days Canadian,
right?
It's still a good escape, and then you have to have somewhere to come back to. So I don't want to buy a house here because I just think it's been spoiled by bankers and real estate have just grossly, you know, greedy owners have asked too much money for the homes, and it's unaffordable.
So would you get an apartment here then?
I'll stay RVing as long as I can, and I guess I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
Yeah,
and, see what happens.
There's advantages to renting, right? I mean, you don't got to cut grass, you don't got to maintain all that sort of stuff. The furnace goes, you don't have to fix it.
No,
that sort of thing.
No.
But Is there anything you haven't done yet in your life outside of RVing or motorcycling that you're still going, I wish I'd have done that, or can I still do that?
Well, as I say, I've been to Europe. I've been to see my daughter in England. I've traveled the continent here, north and south, pretty near every state several times, and camped in them all, stayed in them all, had a taste and a flavor for them all. I just recently, in the last few years, went to the east coast of Canada. I've only done that about 3 times. I just like the standard of living in the States. It's a better way of life. When you get some news from the States over there, they dig for sensationalism and the worst of the worst. It's not. People are people, no matter where you are. They're human beings. They have feelings, and they're good. They're good people, basically. And I haven't had a problem over there, not at all. Nothing. You know.
Yeah. I'm thankful for your time here today,
Yes,
my
sir.
friend, and I can't wait for the next time we talk, because we go for lunch and coffee sometimes, and it's usually Gary just telling me these stories, and I'm always in awe of the stories that you talk about, and you got quite a sense of humor going on there too.
Well, tonight's Fries Under the Bridge for motorcycles.
Right. This is
night.
Wednesday that we're doing this, but this will come out on Monday. But yeah, I might be there.
Thursday
I haven't done
night,
that one yet.
all summer long, is the car show in Canatera.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you have whatever hit and miss, you know, and
Yeah, Lady Luck's always got some rides going on. You said you're a big part of that. And then, do you go to the Wednesday night? Is that the Hog Group that puts that on? Or
which one?
The Harley Owners Group, or
the Harley Owners Group. They put on their own rallies, and they usually start at a donut shop,
okay,
and they'll run to a destination. Lately, they've been going south because it's warmer than going north.
right?
Now, Lady Luck, they do their own thing, and they have a social every 2 weeks, and then a meeting the last Wednesday of the month.
Are you a member of the Lady Luck?
No, not yet. I may join. I may get in, but I'm not here enough to qualify for enough meetings in a row.
Right, yeah.
And but as I say, I've been a member of there before, and I enjoy going out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like going up to the bridge. I like seeing everybody, people that you haven't seen since high school. You run
Right.
into, you know, again and again. So it's fun to do, and just to get out. And, the most expensive thing to do anymore is pushing a grocery cart.
Right.
I think sometimes I go to the diner and they serve me Sophia's Diner for a turkey dinner with dessert and soup for $14 or something. I say, what do I want to cook for? You know.
Yeah, right.
And,
Yeah, we live just down the street from it. I love going there.
Yeah, well, I like going to Petrolia Theater. They've got some good shows coming.
Yeah.
I'm not just sure what's going on uptown. They whatever they do.
They got Pizza Fest this weekend that we're talking about and stuff. They've always got stuff going on out there too.
Whatever Kerry Beauchamp puts on, I usually like to go and
Yeah,
see because
yeah.
it's good, well done. But we'll see what comes up. And I go to Hiawatha, the racetrack, on Saturday nights. So as I say, there's more to do when you dig for it.
There's
look
lots
around
to do
for it.
around here. I hear people say there's nothing to do. There's all kinds to do.
Yeah, you just can't say there's nothing to do. You have to go and stop and be sociable, you know, here and there. And
I agree.
Wherever Rick Steves play, I go.
Yeah,
watch
I know
him.
you like watching him, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to play in Kamlaki here in August, and somewhere Lyle told me the other day, got another event coming up. I'll find out, but yeah.
Very good. Thanks so much for your time, Gary.
Yes, sir.
Thanks to all of you for watching, and I know I say it every time. Click the like or the love, but please click the share button. It's the most important button you can click to share stories about Gary and all the guests that I have here. But right now, that's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. We'll see you next time.
Don't sit home all winter.
Bye for now.
All
Awesome.
right.